Let's talk some Dynasty running back risers, and after this free agency period, we're starting to get a clearer picture of what it's going to look like for some of these Dynasty running backs. The NFL draft is coming up, and I'm telling you, this may even change even more based on what these teams are doing. But the first guy we're talking about today as a running back riser is going to be Brian Robinson Jr. Some people may say, wait, hold on, they just got Austin Ekeler, but look, Austin Ekeler a little bit on the side of the cock-a-doodle, okay? You know what I'm saying? He didn't do what he was supposed to do over there with the Chargers like he was that fantasy gold. I think he's on the latter end of his career. Coming over to Brian Robinson Jr., who I think they're going to have as the Commanders, a rookie quarterback starting for them, which means they're going to utilize the running game quite early and often. Austin Ekeler isn't this between the tackles type of running back. He's someone that's going to be catching the ball on third down. That's just what he does. Brian Robinson Jr. should have all the goal line carries. He should have all the main first and second down role. I think Brian Robinson Jr. is going to have even a better role than what he had when Antonio Gibson was there. Let's just look at it for some of his stats just from last season. We're looking at 733 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns. He ended up still having 368 yards receiving with 4 touchdowns. Now we have to remember, Brian Robinson's really not that guy who's going to go out to the backfield and be catching a lot of football. He likes to run between the tackles. And with over 700 yards rushing last season, I can see him easily approaching that 1,000 yards rushing this season in this offense. When I'm talking about having this rookie quarterback, they're going to want to run the ball to take a lot of the load off this rookie, whether it's Jaden Daniels or Drake May. And I think the opportunity is there for Brian Robinson Jr. to have a solid fantasy football season, even with Austin Ekeler coming to town. I think Brian Robinson Jr. is definitely a riser this offseason for fantasy football. Let's move on to the next guy. Let's talk about here. We're talking about Zach Moss, the newly acquired running back for now the Cincinnati Bengals. We have to remember the Bengals did let go of Joe Mixon. He is no longer there. They still do have Chase Brown there. He was the rookie last season, but I don't think Chase Brown, he's a tiny type of running back. Zach Moss showed what he can do. He played for the Colts last season, and when Jonathan Taylor went down, Zach Moss had the role, and he was electrifying. He was actually winning you some weeks in fantasy football. So given the opportunity here, Zach Moss really wasn't asked to catch the football too much with the Colts. I think he's going to catch even more this season. Let's just kind of look at what he had last season with the Colts. We see here that Zach Moss had 794 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns, only 192 yards receiving, and only 2 touchdowns there as well. But I think coming over to the Bengals now, having the full role, I think he's easily a 1,000-yard rusher, taking over that Jonathan Mixon role. Maybe a little bit of a younger version, a slight younger version, or really close in age of Jonathan Mixon. But I mean, it is to the point to where they're having a cheaper option as far as that goes. That's why they'd let him go. Say, go ahead, we trade you over for a 7th round pick and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich over to the Texans. Now we got here Zach Moss. I think he's going to be a huge role here with the Bengals and could be a value in one of your drafts if your league mates are sleeping on this guy. A huge riser for me this offseason. Definitely get Zach Moss onto your rosters. And the last running back we're going to talk here about a riser would be the running back for the New Orleans Saints, Kendre Miller. Now, he was a rookie last season, battled a lot of injuries last season, so we're kind of looking at some things like, man, he really didn't perform. So even looking at his numbers, we'll just throw up his little bit of numbers that he had from last season. We look at Kendre Miller having 156 yards rushing with 1 touchdown, and he has 117 yards receiving. Ended up not having 0 touchdowns last season. He really didn't have the opportunities much. Like I said, he was mostly hurt. He had Jamal Williams and Alvin Kamara ahead of him. But let's just look at this. You know, 2024 could be the season of the last season we're seeing Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams on this roster. Even Kamara signed a 5-year deal. After year 2 of the 2024 season, there's only about 10 million dead cap that's going to count against this roster if they let Alvin Kamara go. They either can cut him or they can get some nice value. I would, as a Saints fan, right, I would rather us trade and get something for him. They could say bye-bye to Jamal Williams. He really didn't do nothing for us. And who better to step up than Kendre Miller? He showed some flashes. Even he ended the season last season with 13 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. He's shown flashes in the ability of why they drafted him out of TCU. I think that he could be a stud. Go ahead and try to trade for him now. Kendre Miller's value is very, very low, especially how he ended the season. You could probably get him for peanuts at this point, right? Go get him on your roster. Let him sit for 2024. He probably won't be very valuable unless we see a big injury to Alvin Kamara, but just let him sit there on your roster. Let him mold over, or you never know. Even somebody maybe mid-season try to make a sneaky little trade because he's probably not going to be very valuable going into the season with these two running backs ahead of him. But we're looking this trade, this dynasty riser, in my opinion, is more for 2025 than 2024. But I want you guys to get a jump on that. Get him on your roster. Get him for the cheap now, because if he becomes the bona fide #1 running back for the New Orleans Saints, you'll be seeing some fireworks on your team. But guys, that is my 3 dynasty running back risers for 2024 here. Guys, hit the like button and definitely hit the subscribe button. Most of you guys that watch these videos aren't even subscribed. Hit that subscribe button for me, guys. We're pumping out videos each and every week, multiple videos, getting you best prepared for not only the NFL draft, but also your fantasy football drafts come close to August or September. Guys, can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.